Hello and welcome to AleksConnects Creative Sandbox. My name is Alex and let's continue our Fanart Angry Birds vs Transformers. So yeah, hectic day. So started a little bit later. We will continue to work with the illustration that we are working on now. So let's just prepare everything. Everything seems working. Yep, exactly that. So yeah, how about the time? So yeah, probably today is going to be the 1.5 hour session. Because usually when I'm taking an hour session, I rarely manage to do something in this time frames. 1.5 hours, it's more manageable to do something in these time frames. So yeah, again, I'm continuing to work on this illustration. I'm hoping that I finally will end the 3D thing and we'll finally go into the 2D thing and go into work on the lighting, because I'm super pumped up about going into the lighting. So like placing light objects in the scene, deciding where to put our lighting source, like how to make it work with our story. So this is definitely going to be a pretty cool thing to do. So yeah, we just go into the ZBrush. Where is my stylus? So yeah, let's wear our dead glove. Okay, checking out the technical things. So yeah, don't need that. Seems kind of working. Just refresh stream. Okay, so yeah, in previous session I struggled a lot with the hand because basically I tried to create from this mess a hand at rest, because this is the only way how I could design it properly, because again, when hand in the particular pose, it's pretty hard to work on design. Usually we need to choose a resting pose in order to ensure that we are going to work with design much more comfortable way, because again, whoa, why it's so bad? Why it's so badly snapped to mesh? The funny thing is that I guess we don't need meshes, all these projections anymore. I kind of already depicted everything that I wanted from these projections, and if I'm being honest, I don't think that I need them. We have like almost all information that we need. Oh, the only mistake that I did though is I placed this division lower than it should be. How? Why? Strange. Yeah, I guess I made a mistake when I drew the side view, because on the top view this thing is much lower. Again, I'm calling the front view top view. What? Why? Why I'm mixing them up? Like, this is strange. Okay. Yeah, whatever. I don't think that this is something that could hurt us. Although it would be cool if this thing would be higher. It would make much more interesting design, because the fact that it kind of divides a leg into sides kind of ruins the thing. Maybe we need to consider actually placing it the same as from the side view. It's not going to be a hard thing to do though. Almost all lines just basically will stay the same. The only thing that will change is this thing. Let's try. Also, it's going to be a quick warm-up. Rebuild it. Rebuild it. And let's soften this thing, because it's not supposed to be here. Okay, this is strange. Just apply Dynamesh. Also, let's just try to wait. Skip. Usually I'm using less, so it's much more. And smooth out the things that we hope it's going to look better. I think it's going to look better, because again, it doesn't need to be equal division, and unfortunately right here it's kind of equal division. By putting this thing in here, we kind of created again the design separation: big, small, medium. Before that it was like just big or middle, or big, and one small thing here. Although it kind of looked, oh, we actually have a side from here to compare. Yeah, so let's just get rid of this one. So this actually looks too equal. So this is almost equal to this one in terms of like the size. And by making this one like this, I guess now we have medium, small, and big. In terms of a design, it should work better. Practically and theoretically. Hope it does. It has to work. Yeah, the only problem, this one needs to go here. and we need to get rid of this one. It needs to be flat. As one. Again, creating a little bit of a symmetry to suggest the appeal. Oh, be careful, be careful. I lost what I did. Yeah, right here. And again, if you are looking at this one as a final sculpt, or as, at least as a sculpture, it's pretty bad. But again, this is not a sculpture. This is a reference for me to understand 3D form. So, of course, if I would sculpt final work, it would definitely look differently. I would spend a lot of time to make it right, to get rid of these awful peaks and valleys, because this thing looks pretty bad because of these peaks and valleys. We could slightly make it a little bit better, but again, it's enough information. I have more than enough information for 2D drawing that I need. Although we could spend time and make it a little better, but I don't think that we need to. We're doing this thing already probably more than 10 sessions. It's probably like 12th session. We need to closely get into finish. We kind of already pretty close to the finish, which is a good thing. Closer to the finish. So yeah, we need to go into and work with the hand, but before that, kind of want to make some mistakes that I'm now seeing that I didn't saw before. Correct, just basically these mistakes. I don't know, I still like how this looks. Yeah, I still like more how this one looks, but in terms of the design it doesn't work. And I think if I will give this one a chance, eventually in the illustration it's going to look better, because this one looks too equal. I don't like the fact that this is just basically separates these two on two equal parts. Visual at least equal. They're not equal if you are consider them in volume, of course. This one's smaller, but like just visually they seem too equal, and this kind of doesn't work because we don't have any equality here, we don't have equality here, also don't have equality here, and putting this something equal like here, it doesn't look good. That's why this side is that much bigger. And also it makes this much more smoother transition. So for instance, we're going from big in here to big in here, and then it gets smaller and gets too small, and then bing kitty boom kitty boom. Let's just make things right. So yeah, this is one thing that I wanted to address, and also I previously noticed some type of a mistake in it somewhere here. I need to address it. I forgot what it is, but what is the problem in here? Maybe this one. I wanted to make it more like flatter. I think I didn't like the fact that it's so curvy. Yeah, this one definitely needs to be more flat. Doesn't look flat at all. Again, there's a couple of methods how we could do this. Either use a move brush, but it's not going to look pretty. And then smooth out peaks and valleys. Or a bunch of different methods that I'm not going to explore. Why would I? We need something faster. Apply Dynamish for this to work, and by the way, we're working with smooth peaks. Let's smooth valleys instead. And go with smooth peaks. Okay, now it looks much smoother. Come on, the session needs to be work on the hand, not correcting mistakes. I would leave correcting mistakes for the last session, but when you see something in a particular time, you better solve it when you actually notice it, because next time you could miss it. Or take notes and address them later. Okay, hand works fine, or the arm looks fine. So throughout today's session we need to figure out what to do in here. So we need to figure out what type of design we need to showcase here. I still don't know what we need here. Needs to be something subtle. Not like this, probably. This is out of place. And also I wanted to work on this one and actually design every finger and figure out how they're going to look. So yeah, let's just open references that we worked with previously. Not this one. Where our Pinterest. I'm going to use mostly a Pinterest and the reference that we gathered throughout the all sessions, because it has almost every information that I need. By the way, let's just showcase it. So most of the time I'm going to use probably this one. Oh, pretty cool design. Let's save it into our transformers. Why not? Also, I probably don't have this one. Again, when you find something cool, save it. Why not? It will take a couple of seconds, but it will answer a lot of questions in terms of a design. Fortunately, it's too far. Probably this one. Oh, this one. Yeah. So for the most part, I'm going to look at this hand and I will try to figure out to come up something with on my own. This is pretty interesting guide. So I probably will explore separation of this glove part in my design, because it's definitely, I guess, something that we could do to make this armor glove thing look better. And also that way we could create the sharp angles that we need, because so far it doesn't have that much of a sharp angles, at least in the center. And these sharp angles, they're not visible that much, so we need something much more drastic. So since we already established the separation in here and separation in here, or at least this side, we could use these to suggest where the separation is going to be. For the most part, it's controlled by the flow of the hand itself. So let's just first work on the hand. There's a crazy hole in here. I don't think that we need this. Or maybe we need this, but we need to make it. United. Oh, come on again. Forget that. Whoa. By the way, let's save. I did a lot of things starting from the beginning in terms of like redoing things in here. this division. Actually, add a little bit of clay in here, because again, this looks like a hole. Again, since this is a transformer's hand, I don't think that it's going to look similar as like closer to the human. That kind of gives us a little bit more freedom. Freedom. But still, I want to at least suggest. Yeah, we're going to work on the thumb like last, because it's going to be definitely the most challenging thing to do. And for now, let's just focus on fingers. So I definitely need to shape fingers properly, because right now they're not necessarily ready for design. They're pretty all over the place in terms of the shapes. Basic shapes. And by the way, this is like the thing that I figured out throughout this sculpting process, that you need to work on the basic shapes. If your basic shapes look bad, you will spend a crazy amount of time on solving a lot of mistakes, or so you better spend time on preparing a basic shape and then go through the details. At least for me, this is the thing that kind of works. But I think in general, the same, I guess, applies for drawing. If you will go too fast into the details, you will be redrawing and redrawing and redrawing and redrawing, and it's not going to look good. So I think it's always better if you first lay out the basics, work on them, and then go for details. Basic shapes are everything. So right now I just want to create something closer to the human finger. Pretty far from human, but still. Oh, come on. This look awful. Oh, come on. This is like a walrus part of the body. Part of the body of the walrus. Swollen. Although we could add some type of interesting details in here, some like armor pieces on each finger, but yeah, they are actually super thick. We need to readdress this. They don't need to be that thick. Ping, 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 ping. this is what I talked about. So I guess we need to, these are too close together. First, how we could address it is by making the brush smaller. That way will make our job harder. We're just going to create a bunch of holes. Or we could use mask to actually masking would be easier. They look so funny. They don't look like fingers at all, but still. For them to look like fingers, we need to spend more time. The only thing I guess that you need to understand going forward is have a little bit of a vision in your brain how they look. You always have a reference. Look at your fingers. By the way, before smoothing out, I definitely need to, I don't want to forget about dynameshing things. So applying dynamesh is definitely going to be an important thing here. So basically fingers has to look from all possible angles realistically, or at least close to the real ones. You tell me I'm again messing up. Yes, I guess I'm messing up things again. Okay, let's just establish where the joints are, because this is definitely will help us to figure out where we need to create this dynamic. So the first joint, of course, in here. So this is probably the place for the first joint. Same in here. I don't know if I leave these things here, but at least we need to add them to figure out where these things placed. Actually, joint for the little finger is much lower. But again, this is a transformer, so we could change this slightly. Second joint is pretty close, somewhere in here. And the last joint is here. Okay, for this finger joint, probably is going to be something in here. Somewhere in here. Damn, I'm so focused on this thing, so I can't even talk. Yeah, for instance, if I did something like if I would just design something based on something, for instance, reference or whatever, it would be much more easier, and that way I could probably talk. But right now I'm not actually designing from the reference. I'm just trying to think where these things need to be placed. From time to time I'm looking at my hand, but I'm working with the right hand and partially covered in glove, so it's kinda strange. Finky finky, shkody dinky. By the way, this finger looks awful. Yeah, so this is approximate place of the joints. That means then in the places of joints, hands, at least for the human, for the humans, in these places joints are making fingers look thicker, and in these places it's opposite. But since this is a transformer's hand, I don't know, I don't think it's going to look good. So let's just either way try to do this. And again, this is a good practice in working with the human form, although it's not a human form. But again, when we're going to work with the human form, these practice things are definitely will benefit us. Will be beneficial. And also we need to create separations under the finger. So right here they're just going in here in the same, oh come on. No. We lost the rotation. I actually didn't finish with the shaping with the thing, yeah, with the shaping, base shaping, come on. But what I'm doing now, it's actually will help me to create this base shape better. So I'm not going to go into details that much, but still I need to create these suggestions to figure out how to properly work with the shape. Yeah, it's definitely going to be helpful. Because again, no matter what you're designing, if it's not a human form, you need to base it on something familiar, and usually it definitely will help your designs. So first start with something familiar with the human form, and then do whatever you want with it. But when you have as a base human form, it's always much easier to break it down and come up with something that looks different but still familiar, rather than just create completely unfamiliar form or shape. and then just struggle with making this shape look realistic or believable. Whoa, this finger definitely have a problem in here. Tiny machine. Okay, good. So, you see, by establishing these small elements, these fingers now look a little bit better. They still look awful in terms of like the basic shape, but at least now they are much more familiar to us, and when we don't feel they are too different, although they are, but whoa. Automatic save. Oh no. I'm so afraid of dealing with the thumb. Again, the most hated part of the human hand is, for me, it's the thumb, because it's so hard for me, like you can't even imagine. It definitely brings so much discomfort that my brain sometimes is just basically shutting down and wants to finish the session every time that I'm working with the thumb. Maybe because my brain doesn't understand it properly. Although, like, I remember my first encountering of this super hard form. Right now I'm kind of feeling a little bit less hesitant towards it, so... But like, when I first time actually worked with the thumb and trying to figure out how it works and how it rotates, oh yeah, my brain just basically was a mess. It was so uncomfortable. But again, this is the way to learn. First you feel super uncomfortable about it, then you push through this uncomfortable situation or state, and the more you work on the particular thing that makes you uncomfortable, the more comfortable you become. And time is going to pass, and you will become better at it. Ow. thing about the thumb, we need to also consider the proportional relationships to the regular fingers. So this is one of the hardest things to compare them, because right now it kind of seems too big, but if I will make it smaller, it's going to look too small. So kind of need to find a perfect balance. Usually the thing that will definitely help you establish the proper rotation for the fingers is putting fingernails, or at least suggesting fingernails. Because usually when you suggest where the fingernails are placed, it's much easier for you to figure out what direction these fingers are taking, at least visually. You could picture it in your brain, but when you create some type of a visual thing, it's always better, because now I know how this finger, how to make it look believable, because now I have the visual depiction. Oh, hello there. Cassiopean game? Cassiopean in game? No. Yeah, sorry if I'm reading things the wrong way. I'm not very good in reading nicknames, so yeah, hello there. Okay. Yeah, the thumb is usually the hardest thing for me to do. It looks broken. Let's make it less broken, I guess. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. But again, this is not my... yeah, I don't have that much of experience in sculpting. I guess this is probably my second big sculpt that I did. But I like sculpting. It's pretty... Oh, come on. I lost rotation again. It's pretty intuitive for me, I don't know. And even if I'm struggling with sculpting, eventually I will solve a particular problem. It's much more harder for me to do in 2D. Yeah, I'm 2D artist too, so and I'm actually specifically got into sculpting to understand 3D form better, because for 2D artists it's much harder to understand 2D form or 3D form in 2D space, because you don't have enough information. And this is one of the reasons why I got into sculpting, just for the sake of studying 3D form, 3D construction in much more intuitive way. Because if I did this in 2D, oh come on, my brain would just probably explode. Yeah, so that's why I kind of I drawn these things in 2D. I designed this transformer statue in 2D. And then I decided, okay, this is too complex of a form for me to understand how to put it in 3D space. And I got into sculpting just for the sake of understanding how this form wraps around. Because again, I have only 2D projections of this form, and it's not enough for me to visualize it in 3D space. And I kind of noticed that most of the artists that work with the sculpting, they usually have better understanding of 3D form, like when they are actually painting and making some type of constructions. Because again, sculpting is intuitive for every human almost, and kind of makes your, I don't know, see things in 3D. When the 2D drawing, you need to learn how to create an illusion of reality to feel comfortable doing these things, and it's much more longer. It definitely takes longer. I don't know, I guess it's for every human is a little bit differently, for every person. For someone, sculpting is easier, for someone's drawing is a little bit easier. Yeah, thanks for the follow! Very much appreciated. Yeah, 3D form, like, I'm not separating 3D artists and 2D artists, because we still need to understand 3D form, no matter what type of artist we are. Like, in the end, we need to visualize things from our brain. Basically, we need to learn how to visualize, and sculpting for me is pretty intuitive way of visualizing things. So like, I have some type of vision in my brain, and I want to implement this vision into 2D canvas, and in order to do that I need to picture it in 3D space. And yes, knowing perspective, knowing how perspective works, and foreshortening, like placing camera angles properly and all of this, it will definitely help you to place this 3D form into space. But before that, you need to understand that 3D form first, how it looks in the space. Yeah, basically how it looks. Okay then. So yeah, basically right now I'm just trying to create some type of a visual cues for my brain to understand where particular parts are placed. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, we probably lost the pressure sensitivity, no? Yeah, I guess we lost it. So let's just save. If we're not going to gain it back, we need to minimize the brush, maximize it again, and it should bring pressure sensitivity back. And it did. Yes, now we have pressure sensitivity again. Marble sculpture? What's marble sculpture? It's a program. This is some type of a soft. Oh yeah, this is a soft. No, this is not a soft. Oh, creating sculpture from marble, you mean? Oh, cool. I don't even know how it kinda works. I think you need a bunch of special instruments to do that. Yeah, marble sculptures looks awesome. Googling, googling. Yeah, I kinda looked up marble sculptures. Yeah, this is supposed to be difficult because when you're sculpting with the clay or different type of material, soft material, it's of course much easier thing to do. And I guess when you work with the marble, yeah, you don't have eraser. This is actually the problem. You need to make much smarter decisions, and yeah, this is of course because right here you in sculpting with the soft material you have the ability to subtract and to add. With marble, I guess you don't have the ability to add. The only thing that you have is subtract, and you need to subtract in much more smarter way, I guess. Yeah, because again, if there's no like ways to work with marble by liquefying it, which I probably don't think this is possible. This is a hard material, and of course that way you could do only subtracting. You can't add, which makes it of course super hard. Different decisions. Okay, this is pretty, yeah, I guess this could work for now. So now I'm going to shape them better because these fingers are too big. Again, this is not a human form. I could allow myself like a little bit, go a little bit of human form. I could make these fingers more thicker. It's not that big of a problem. Oh yeah, by the way, we need to make changes in here too. Working on dynamic. Yeah, by the way, let's hide our 2D projections. They are in the way. Yeah, this thing is definitely broken. Fat tissue. Yeah, and this is the thing that I like about sculpting. You have so much possibilities in here to change things, and you have the I don't know how to properly say it. You have the opportunity or the ability to analyze this form in 3D space right away. For learning, it's an awesome thing. At least for me, sculpting seems an efficient way to learn. I tried to learn differently, like, of course, into the two, but I always felt that sculpting for me is much more intuitive way to solve these problems. And again, I'm looking at the when I'm, for instance, working with a particular project, I always seen this as like I have particular problems that I need to solve, and I just need to find a way to solve them. And then I'm just basically choosing the instruments that will help me to solve these problems in a much more efficient way. Not necessarily the fastest way, but efficient way. Yeah, the next stage of this is going to be, so basically right now I'm pretty close to the ending of the sculpting. Next stage is going to be working with the lighting. I just basically go into this sketch that we did before and try to place lighting sources, trying to figure out where to put lighting and make this work, and finally work on a bunch of so I'm going to start working with values, with colors, and basically other stuff. How many hours I need to finish sculpture like that? Again, this is probably my second big sculpture. My first big sculpture was a human form in static. Usually when I'm working static like this, I don't know, let's just see how many hours I already spent on this sculpture. I'm kind of already finishing it, so let's just go and see how actually many hours I spent on it already. It took me probably, this is like the 12th session or maybe 13th session. So let me see. So I started sculpting with 23rd session, and okay, I'm on 60 gigabytes. This is too much. Yeah, so 24th hour. So basically 24 hours. In 24 hours I managed to do this. Yeah. So yeah, this thing is basically took me 24 hours. And of course it's not finished in any way. Ideally I would spend much more time to actually working on hard surfaces. So for now these things does not necessarily look like hard surface things. If I would like actually finalize it, make these lines look better, because right now they look horrible. And of course I need to pump up the resolution. Right now we're working on the 1 million polygons. I think final sculpture would be in 5 million polygons, definitely. So of course I would put much more time in this sculpture if I would make it like the final sculpture. But since I'm working on it just for the sake of referencing, creating reference for myself, of course it's like, and again, this is my second sculpture. I don't have that much experience in it. I made a lot of mistakes throughout the sculpture that now I'm probably not going to do. Not going to make any more. And I'm not finishing it yet. I still need to make things bigger in here. I need to finish a hand, designing hand. So it's still a lot of work. But so far it took me 24 hours. It's pretty long. Again, when you're doing things for the first time, it's usually takes you, I don't know, forever. But as long as you're learning, time will be spent efficiently, I guess. and this is like my second, or no, this is my first like big illustration when I'm actually working on the compositions, on composition, complex composition, or not super complex composition, but still for me it's pretty complex. And because of this, I'm already working on this illustration probably a second month. So I hope I will create illustration much faster way. But after this, I will for now go into work on character designs, because illustration will take me too much time. Because when I'm working with illustration, I'm putting too much thoughts into it, like where to place a particular thing, how to work with the composition. I always putting too much time into this. When you're working with character designs, it's a little bit easier. You still need to think about composition, but you work with inside composition, like inside the character itself. When you're working with illustration composition, you need to think about a bunch of compositional elements, which of course will take too much time. Okay, so I guess for now, let's just finish with the suggestions for the fingers, and now I guess let's just try to create a separation or some type of a design for this part. So again, if I'm going to implement a design thing or design into the hand, we need to make sure that we will use repetitive shapes to create a cohesion, the overall cohesion. So for that, I guess let's just experiment, and then I will decide what to do with it. So right here is definitely not going to be a curve, because we need to create something a little bit sharper, because we have a lot of sharp angles in here throughout the whole design, and so far hand doesn't have any sharp angles, or at least a few of them, and we need to put more. Also, I definitely want to separate these things to ensure that movement of the hand is going to be, hand's supposed to be flexible in this place, and with this thing in here, it's not going to be flexible at all. You need to think about movement, how these things are going to move. Usually these things are helping design. It doesn't look good at all. Maybe, okay, the first thing that I don't like about this thing is too far away. Just make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, for some reason today my brain doesn't work with the talking too much. My English today is horrible. which is strange though. I rest pretty well. Nope, doesn't look right. Something about that doesn't look right. Yeah, too much equal divisions. We need to create something more stylistic. Stylized things. Oh no, I'm panicking. I hate when it happens. When I don't know where to go from here, I'm going into panic mode. And in panic mode, my brain slows down. Maybe something like this. It's all about the tests, exploring things. If this thing is not going to work, oh, wait a minute, maybe I need to get rid of this one completely. I need to create better silhouette for this, because like one of the things that I don't like about it, it's just the silhouette is too simple. It's like it screams to be different. Also, horizontal lines work here because they add dynamic, and I definitely need to implement dynamic in here because it's not enough. Okay, let's just dynamesh. Things. Yeah, I guess right now I'm just going to experiment until it feels right, because again, I didn't plan for this hand at all, because I didn't have enough pixels to actually design it. I worked with pretty low resolution when designing this transformer, so I kind of decided, oh screw it, I will design it in sculpting when I'm going to sculpt. And of course it's not that easy. In the end, I will manage to finish this either way, but it definitely take time. It will take time. I don't think that I need to smooth out things here. Okay, let's just smooth peaks. Or valleys, yeah, to make this thing a little bit sharper looking. Same for this one. Go into our damp standard brush and make things like this. Come on. Dynamash. Also, let's save. I didn't save. Okay. So yeah, something about this I don't feel right. It looks a little bit better than before, but I know. Maybe the fact that this thing is too cut out, we need to make it a little bit more interesting transition in here. Or make it smaller all in all. Yeah, right now it actually looks a little bit better. So I guess the problem was that it was too wide. It's to become a little bit smaller. Yeah, my brain right now in the state of the creative freeze. I don't know. Sometimes it happens. It's very bad when it happens when you're working on a specific project, because kinda makes you frustrated that you don't know what to do, you don't like what you're doing, and it makes you constantly hesitant towards everything that you're doing. But I guess you just need to push through it, because you need to. Okay. Question is, Maybe I need to put them a little bit deeper. Let's try this. Just try, I'm not going to keep it. Nope. It's too much. Smooth out a little bit these things, make them a little bit visible from the top. Same we need to do here. We need to make them visible from the top. Visible from the top, make it invisible from the top. Hands actually are going to be pretty important in illustration, because transformers are going to hold swords with these hands, and hands are going to constantly be used as a pathway from the sword to the face of the transformer. That's why their design definitely needs to work. I think if I'm not going to like this design in the final illustration, I always could change it. So basically, at least I now understand the form, and I always can change it, so it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, the next problem that I'm definitely figuring out now is this thing needs to slightly transition into. So right here, it needs to be thinner. Basically, we need to add this transition. It's one way to make this dynamic better. Why I didn't think about it before, though. If I actually think about it before, I wouldn't need to do this now. That's why you better plan your design first and then go and do it. Because right now I need to spend a lot of time to making it right. Again, learning experience. Learning from everything that we are doing. This is one of the things that I like about the process that I'm choosing to stick to, because I actually learn a lot from it, like already, and I will learn even more in time. The cool thing is that I'm not just learning how to sculpt, I'm learning how to draw too and how to paint. What I'm doing now will make my drawing skills and painting skills better. By drawing skills, I mean working with the construction, creating or suggesting form with lines. Because now I'm will understand the particular form better. Yeah, this is definitely better. This was the problem. This was definitely a problemo. How many time we have then? Oh, actually we have 1 minute. But I guess I will extend till 2 hours because I didn't unfortunately manage to cover to end hand. So let's just extend it to 2 hours. 2 hours. No, we don't have 1 minute, we have a little bit more, but still. I want to extend it. I need to finish this hand at least. Not completely, but to a particular state. Leave it in a particular state. Creating a slope. Oh, cool. Actually, we could make sharp transition in here, which will definitely make this glove or the armor look better. I don't think that I will keep this design that I did in here. I think I will definitely make something a little bit better. For now, let's just keep it like this. Shaping up things, making them better. Okay. Kinda works. Dynamash. 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 And definitely these things need to go lower because I don't think that they need to be that big. Organic shapes, not organic shapes. This is probably the best angle to deal with this problem. Yes, sorry in advance if this, or not in advance, but sorry if this session was boring, much more boring than usual. Because like I had to have time to concentrate. My brain just basically didn't work properly, neither in conversations, neither with thinking what I want to say or what I want to ask. because again, I'm kind of concentrated on solving this problem, and usually when I'm solving a particular problem that's pretty hard for me to solve, when I'm feeling uncomfortable solving it, and I am feeling uncomfortable solving it, I definitely could become super quiet and super chill, because I kind of concentrating on these things. Concentration, concentration, concentration is everything when you're solving your problems. Whoa, that was pretty cool. Yeah. Although, I'll just skip it and then move it slightly to make it right. Function. Actually, let's create a little bit of a thing in here, which will make it look more like a glove made from a fabric, I guess. I guess it could look good. Okay, let's figure out what we're going to do with this design though. Then, so just get rid of the things that I don't necessarily like. Smooth them out. Now let's rethink with the new information that we have. So first thing that I need to understand how to separate this one from this one. So I guess let's use the same way as it looks on the reference and make this separation. Okay, so now we established separation. It kind of repeats the design that we already have in here. Also, I kind of want to add a little bit elements in here. they could look good. But we need to we definitely need to be careful with this one. Okay, let's just dynamesh this. Establish deeper separation in here. And correct it with the move brush. Yeah, that's why working with the hard surface thing with sculpting is super hard, because it usually at the beginning it doesn't look right. That's why modeling specifically designed for hard surface. Making hard surfaces in programs such as ZBrush harder. Still, of course, you can do this, but you need to learn how to do this. You need to kind of use a specific techniques to do this. Since I don't know any techniques, I'm going with the logic. It's not always a pincher. Oh, that was a cool, it would be a cool thing if I actually could pinch them together, like. Of course I could. Then I will probably use lose. Okay, this pinch kind of works. Now we need to make the right one here. Okay, this could work. Dynamesh, dynamesh. And suggest bigger separation in here. I want to represent them as separate parts, separate pieces of the armor. Okay, kind of looks somewhat good. And also I would want to separate these two from each other too, because I think it would be a good thing. They need to be separated because, again, these parts are usually movable. They ensure the flexibility of the hand, so I definitely need to separate them. Whoa, so deep. Okay, this could work. This could work. The only... yeah, I think I need to... I feel like I already did this. Now I'm just basically bringing it back. Mesh. By the way, I guess it would be much easier if I would use something like this. And then just move it. It's one of the ways to deal with these things. Again, I need to utilize masks more often. They are pretty cool tool to do these things, but I guess with experience I will definitely use them more often. Oh, come on. Everything is falling apart. Again, the reason why I'm adding these things in here, because they need to be added here for some reason. It's like, I don't know. I have a feeling that they need to be there. Data mesh. I will suggest them, and in the next session I'm going to work on them in a much more better way. Right now they're going to look awful, but I don't want to detail them because maybe I will change something. And yeah, this is experiment. Maybe it will work, maybe not. We need to wait and see. Again, still it feels like this hand is too big. We always can make it a little bit smaller, it's not a problem. But again, for the transformer, the bigger hand is, I guess, the better, because it could be out of proportions, because again, shoulders are out of proportions. There's a lot of things that are out of proportions in here, and if we will make them out of proportions, then we need to understand why they are out of proportion. They need to serve a particular purpose. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, or not. No, I'm not going to repeat this thing in here. No, I'm not going to. Okay, question about the slope. How it needs to be. Dynamash. Damn, I'm so focused on this thing that I can't even talk. This is crazy. So every time that I'm focused, I guess, on something, I'm going in the thinking mode instead of the talking mode. You definitely need to create the same slope in here. Question is, it's not going to be visible at all. These small type of details are not going to be present in the illustration. But still, I kind of want to make this design work, even if I'm not going to use it. It's a good way to practice things, and at least for me this is a good practice. Oh, come on. Close, I don't know how close these things need to be. Since they could move, I think we don't need to create them too close to each other, to make them too close to each other, because again, there's going to be movement here. Whoa. Don't need a mask. Dynamash ain't saving. Whoa. What happened here? What happened here? Okay, let's see how it looks in perspective. In perspective. Yeah, the hand is actually gigantic. Although, like, compared to the body, it doesn't look gigantic, but compared to the head, it looks, yeah, it's kind of the same size as the head, or even bigger. Proportionally, it kind of feels a little bit wrong. But again, they are Transformers. I think they could have big hands, or hands bigger than the head. They're not that smart, I guess. We need to suggest power. This is the way of choosing proper proportions. So if we want to decrease intelligence of a particular character, we need to make heads smaller, especially when we're working with stylization. And bigger hands, suggesting that this character works with his hands, or her. The cool thing is, after I will draw this hand in the position of holding a sword, I think all these things, all these elements are actually going to work. I can already picturing how it's going to be. Kind of looks cool. Yeah, the only thing that I guess we need to add in here is actually suggest this design element that we already suggested in the knees. right here, in the shoulders, in here. Again, creating this overall cohesion or unity throughout the design. Unity, unity. So yeah, I don't think that I will manage today to finish with the fingers. I guess fingers we're going to work with tomorrow. But today, I think the last thing that I'm going to do is actually what I did. My brain freeze. Oh yeah, this one. So I will suggest this thing in here. Just need to do this the right way. Soften a little bit. Soften a little bit. And oh, come on. What happening? Oh, come on, stupid broom brush. So yeah, I accidentally chose the broom brush instead of the damp brush. Where is the damp brush? Damn standard. Damn standard. Hello there. Damn standard brush. Nice to meet ya. Again. Dynamesh. Let's use soften valleys and make this thing a little bit straighter. Oh, wait. Although it's not going to be straight. Oh no. We mistakenly added something in here. Careful, careful, careful. Staying out of the edges. Okay, kind of works. Peaks. Now peaks. Overall smoothing. And I guess now we could draw here our design element. Just no, it's not right. Draw a circle. Oh no, this is the day where I can't even draw a circle. How many tries it's going to take? Oh, come on. Actually, I had a couple of pretty cool circles there, but let's go into the perfectionism and make this circle super perfect. I could make it smaller though, but slower, but it's not going to be hard. Yeah, smart people would use lazy mouse and add it to lazy mouse a bunch of cool settings that would make them draw a circle better. Okay, this could work. Now let's just slightly the placement of the circle I don't know, it's too high, it needs to be a little bit lower, but not, maybe not. Right here is higher than here. It's not necessarily needs to be in the center. And maybe I will keep it in here. Let's try to add small little circles in here. Maybe it could work, who knows? I don't know about that. Again, our brain automatically wants to fill the gaps. When we see an empty space, we want to put something in here. Like, it's like the psychological need to put something in empty space. But empty spaces are the elements of storytelling too. We need to keep them. We need to gather ourselves and make the right decisions to not put something in an empty space. That way it will tell more story than putting something in it. So I guess let's not put excessive details, although I could, and it could make pretty interesting design, but let's not. We need empty space in here to balance things out. Oh yeah, this actually works. Oh snap. Yeah, I definitely want to do this one. It's not necessarily filling up the space so as just actually directing the viewer's eye in here. Yeah, it actually works. Pretty cool. The only thing that we need to change is to place a little bit of the circle. So let's just mask it out. Yeah, it's kind of chosen. What we don't need. Reverse the mask, and now we can move this thing whenever we want. No, actually, let's grow mask a little bit. Yeah, I definitely need to utilize mask more. It's not something that I get accustomed to, but in the future I definitely will do this because masks are super powerful tools in here. Almost in every program though, no matter where you're working, 2D, 3D, compositing, video editing. Masks are powerful as cool. So yeah, I still need to establish what type of design I'm going to put here, but I don't think that we need to add something in here like super drastic. Yeah, kind of time is already out. We need to finish. I definitely add something suggested that could suggest that these things are bending, so that movement happens there. I don't think that we need something more than this. Maybe create some type of a separation in here. probably not going to work. Yeah, actually it looks kind of cool. Soften a little bit. So yeah, the last thing that I'm going to do is just to make this thing more prominent, because we kind of lost it a little bit. So yeah, and the next session I definitely going to work with these elements. I'm going to create them here. Shape them properly. And if for some reason I'm not going to like how it's going to look, I'm just going to get rid of them, and that's it. For now, I think they could work. But if not, because again, we have big space here, we have like middle spaces here, and we need something small in here to balance it out. So that's why I need to create these things, just for the sake of balancing the design. Slight changes in here to create oh, wait a minute, forget that we have there gloves. Again, transformer with gloves, it's pretty funny. They usually don't have the fabric on them, but we kind of saw a couple of transformers with fabric, and they actually look pretty cool. So we could add some type of elements of the fabric into the transformer, why not? And also I definitely, when I'm going to end this design, I definitely need to add the plates in here, because I actually wanted to see how they look. For that, we're of course going to use a different subtool, or yeah. But for now, I guess we will end on this one. Kind of like the result. I spent a lot of time throughout the session figuring out how it's going to be, and in the end, I figured it out. We still didn't answer the question about this thing, so what we need to place here, because again, this empty space, it actually looks too empty. We definitely need to incorporate something in here, but the question is what and how exactly. But at the same time, if I will leave an empty space in here, maybe it could work too. So yeah, I don't think that we even need something there. I think it could be enough to just create something in here. Nope. Come on, time is already out. This one actually could work. Yeah, let's leave it this one. Can like how it looks. Can like how it looks. Needs to be a little bit straighter in here. Maybe some type of a weapon could be in there. Who knows? It could be opened. Yeah, it could open and fire some type of weapons. Like cringe. Could be. And the reason why we need something in here, because again, we need to continue the movement. And right now, movement just basically stops in here because there's an empty space in here. But now movement kind of continues. So now we have some type of a directional element that could lead us right away, right into our circle. And then it spreads out in here. Before that, this empty space just basically stopped this movement. And yeah, the interruption of direction. We don't need that. We need to continue our direction somewhere. So yeah, let's just leave it at this. It's gonna already pass probably 8 minutes, so yeah, in the end I like the result. At least for now. I definitely will make it a little bit better. It's a bunch of jaggedy lines that needs to be readdressed. We need to make sharp edges in here. These don't need to be curved. But it's all small details that we could work with later. And still I'm working on them. No, man. Stop. Stop. You don't have time. Go to sleep. You need to wake up early. Go to sleep. Stop working, please. Are you talking to yourself? Nope. I'm not. So yeah, let's just stop here. Close the brush. Yeah, already saved. So yeah, I don't know, this session was pretty strange. I struggled most of the session. My brain was just basically froze creatively and not creatively. So it was pretty hard to get somewhere, but at least I got somewhere, which is a good thing. Again, cool. And I actually don't feel frustrated at all now. So I pushed through my fears and found the solution, which is a good thing. And didn't spend that much time on it. More than I probably could, but still. So yeah, on that note, I guess we will end the session. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here. Have a nice day or night, and see you in the next session. Bye bye.